That's wild. It can do both. That's, I guess, kind of cool. This is... Okay. Oh gosh. Is this working? I don't even know. Okay, yeah, that's working. Holy cow. Okay, let's get this back on. Let's see, which one was I on, is the question.
Take you through the process of how we actually take a project from idea to completion.
Roles according to our occupation in life.
Let's
we
get
also
this
play
sorted.
roles with respect to our characters. There are certain social kinds of role, for example, that it is acceptable for men to play. There are certain roles which men ought not to play, according to definition. And you very soon are taught to accept yourself as a certain kind of a character. You are told who you are. For example, you may remember as children when you went out to play with other children and you came home mimicking the mannerisms of some other child. And your parents being disturbed by this because they said, that's not you, Johnny, that's Peter. Because everybody wants to identify you and tell you who you are. And this grows and grows as you go through life. More and more, people are trying to identify you. Like they say, are you a Republican? Are you Democrat? Are you a Presbyterian, Episcopalian, Baptist, a Roman Catholic? Come on now, what are you? Here, tell us.
Is it still stopping?
And people, in other words, persuade you into accepting certain roles. And it's so effective because you eventually come to believe in it all.
It must be my internet that's having issues.
One of the funniest things they do to you, this is really hysterical. I told some of you about it this morning again.
Maybe it's working?
So bear with me if I repeat myself. But when you're taught who you are as a child, do you realize it's practically impossible for you to resist social persuasion? The general effect of what people say to you as a child is utterly irresistible. But they define you as a free and independent agent. And they say, you're responsible, see? And we praise you for what you do well and blame you for what you do badly. But you are responsible. That is to say, you are an independent source of feelings and thoughts and actions.
The connection does seem bad. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
And you believe that because you must. There is no way of resisting it. In other words, you are defined as an independent agent because you are. And this leads to the most amazing confusion. I don't say that you don't have freedom in doing so. I'm saying the way in which you are defined as free is a way which you cannot resist. And therefore society goes on to say to you, you are required and commanded to behave in such a way that will only be acceptable if you do it voluntarily. That is to say, darling, all nice children love their mothers. And of course you ought to love your mother too, but not because I say so, but because you really want to. Wowee. When you've had that put into you, you live in a state of confusion for the rest of your life. Because you are trying to be free as a result of a compulsion that you can't resist. And the thing is completely self-contradictory. So this is some of the problems attached to role-playing. However, when you go on in life, you know, and you realize you're going to wear out, and that your role is wearing a bit thin, and you begin to wonder about the human state and death and getting sick and decrepit, you begin to ask questions, who am I really? I mean, underneath the role, what is all this? What is a self? What is sensitivity? What is consciousness? What is it to exist? I really don't think I know myself at all. Now, in our culture,
Jessica, you're in.
Time, we don't have very much to offer.
Jessica, you're in Italy? Welcome, by the way. That's fun. That's very cool. We got a fun little crew today. It's sweltering here. That's a great word, by the way. Yeah, it's sweltering here too. It's pretty gnarly. The hotter it gets, the redder my face gets. Okay. I'm so tired of doing dishes. I don't even do that many, and I just get... Sometimes I feel like that's all my life is making food, and then it's just like, God. I don't know.
People in that condition. It's true, we have psychoanalysis, and we have some religions, but our religions, when you consider ordinary standard brand religions in the Western world, they are now all more or less proclaiming that God is dead. They don't offer very much except social convention and rubbing it in. They say you should be good. We've made statistical studies of the subject matter of sermons given all over the United States on Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And they all amount to, basically, the vast percentage of them say to people, you ought to be good. Everybody knows this, but nobody knows how. You must love. You see, that's what the preachers are saying. And if history tells us anything, it tells us that preaching doesn't work.
Huh.
Nobody ever listened to it. So they love being scolded. A colourful scolding by a good preacher is a great thrill. But by and large, our standard brand religion, so far as leading one to a real deep and experiential discovery of who and what you really are, and what your situation in this universe is, they don't go very far. You can, of course, read deeply in theology and go quite a long way. But so far as the affair is concerned, which the ordinary person will get in the average church is very superficial. The Chinese devised, however, a philosophy for those who came to this point. And it is, as I said, the counterpart of Confucianism. And it's called Taoism. This character in Chinese is pronounced Tao. T-A-O. You would think it was pronounced Tao or Tao, but we've Romanized Chinese in such a way that only those in the know can decide how it's pronounced. We should have spelled it D-O-W, see, but it's D-A-O. And this character here means the course of nature, the way, the flow of things. And so this is the philosophy of the way of nature. Now, I will start out by saying that Tao cannot be defined. You may think it's rather strange that I'm going to talk for a whole weekend about something concerning which nothing can really be said. The book that is basic to Taoism, called the Tao Te Ching, that is the book of the way and its power, starts out by saying, the Tao which can be described or spoken is not the eternal Tao. And then he goes on to write a book about it, which you may think rather illogical. But this is something very important to understand. That the Tao means that which is absolutely basic. It therefore means the basic energy of the universe. It means what you are really, your true self. But in just the same way as you can't bite your own teeth, and in just the same way that you can't look into your own eyes without using a mirror, you cannot define your real self. The hand can't catch hold of itself. The tip of the finger can't touch the tip of itself. And therefore, I'm sorry, but we cannot make an object out of what we really are. And that is why any conception of who you really are that you may entertain is wrong. So if you think of yourself as an ego, that is to say, as a separate center of consciousness and action that is somehow closed up in a bag of skin, this is a false conception. You are not that. You are pretending to be that. You are playing at that. But what you really are utterly escapes definition, and therefore comes under the category of something metaphysical, that is to say, beyond physis, beyond nature in the sense of what can be classified, what can be described, what can be put in a box and said it's either animal, vegetable, or mineral, it's either long or short, black or white, temporal or eternal. Any category you choose to apply is inadequate to this. So do you mind if we start out with something we can't say anything about at all? But it's fundamental. You see, look, it's like, what's the color of your eyes? I don't mean the iris, I mean the lens. We say it has no color. It's transparent. But you see, the perception of all colors whatsoever and all shapes whatsoever depends on that transparent lens. So then you might ask, what is the nature of consciousness? No one can say, because it is common to all experiences. And there's no way of isolating it. What is the color of space? It's the same question. Or take when you listen to a phonograph or the radio. Everything that you hear, all the human voices, all the noises of different instruments, the drums, and anything, they are all vibrations on a diaphragm. But nowhere does the radio announce that this that you are hearing now is nothing but vibrations on a diaphragm. That is basic to everything heard, and it's taken for granted. So in exactly the same way, the Tao is the basis of everything that goes on, is taken for granted. It is as necessary to everything that happens as the diaphragm is to the news on the radio, etc. But we ignore it because it's common to everything. Every experience is the basis of it, therefore we don't notice it. You don't notice anything for which you can't see a limit. And so we can't think about it. But the point is, it's very important to understand that you are it. And if you discover that, there is a way of experiencing it, which we will go into later. You become, what shall we call it, liberated. You are no longer taken in by the game that you are playing, which is that I am this particular ego that came into this world and will eventually be swallowed up by death, and that will be that. You see through that game, and you know that is an illusion, or however a convincing one. So this is basic. Tao is the course of nature. Now,
I'm feeling pretty worn out. Seems like that's happening a lot recently. I guess that's normal when you have a puppy around. Put this here. Let's see what this is. I don't know if the speaker's working, but I just had Alan Watts playing. And no, I wasn't really saying much of anything. But let's see, is the audio actually... Here, I'll check real quick. Do you take... Wait, are you asking Christine? I like that. Do you know what's funny to me right now? Is that... is that all of us started talking at the same time. Like, I was just about to be like, all right, I've had enough of this. I do everything myself. Currently. That is so funny to me that all of us were like, all right, it's quiet. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I was literally just stopping it to be like, all right, this is... Yeah. I don't mind doing... I kind of like doing little bits of cleanup and housework, but then if anything, let me back this up a little bit. If anything extra comes up or if there's other things to do, then I don't have time to do stuff and I get overwhelmed. I would love it. I've been able to justify it. Maybe I can if I can get funding for this app where having someone come by once a week to do like laundry and like basic things would be amazing. I'd never really had that until the last relationship I was in, and having someone come by every once in a while to get everything back to zero is so luxurious. It makes it's just like a chaos resetter. And I kind of like doing it a little bit, but not. It's hard to do other things when you're doing that. Do you? Do you have help? Hi, Bird. There's no puppy right now. She's back with the lady. But she's not going to keep her. So I need to find a home for her. Yeah. That's something I would like. That was one of the things. I don't need it all the I don't need it, obviously. I can do my whole life I did it without it, but having it, just paying someone, well, I didn't pay, but paying someone to come by and just do little bits of things once a week was just huge. Like, I think it's well worth the money if you have it. I just haven't. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Christine. Same. Same. I need to put the screen where the lens is. Maybe that's better. I'm wondering if I'm going to feel better tomorrow, because this goal deadline is tomorrow. And I wonder if I'll feel differently when it's not hanging over my head, because I just feel tired. I don't know. I mean, part of it's the puppy, and part of it, like, I'm bummed. You know, you set up a goal, or I set up a goal, I shouldn't say you. When I set up a goal, it feels bad when I don't hit it. Even if it's, like, outlandishly big. So, it's probably something. Not bad. How do I say thank you in Romanian? Poftă bună, la fel. I just need to know how to say thank you. How do you sleep these days at the moment? I sleep pretty good once I'm asleep. I got 7 hours last night. Like, that's not bad. I exercised. Mulțumesc. You did say that one in the voice message. Mulțumesc. That's what you're saying. Mulțumesc la fel. That's what you were saying? I feel like I remember that. Mulțumesc. I need to go back and listen. I'm such a slow learner with Lane. Yeah. Mulțumesc la fel. Yeah, you had said that when you left the voice message the other day, and I didn't know what that word was. And it's funny, seeing them spelled out helps me remember. Hearing it and seeing it. Yeah, I think I need to I was talking to ChatGPT yesterday, because this is what I do sometimes. And I think, I have this tour coming up, and that will be good. But then after that, or during, or like, I guess maybe now, I want to start looking at getting investors to see. You are teaching me Romanian. Slowly. I'm going to see if I can get investors, I think. And like, one, so they can cover my bills. Because I was spending. I haven't been working since last October. And so I've just been spending the money I had. So I actually sold something just to pay for my living expenses so I could work on the app. But I don't really have much more to sell. At least nothing of value, not that anyone wants. So I need to find investors, I think, that can help, one, pay my living expenses while I work on this. And then also, I think hire like a marketing person or someone that can do social media editing and stuff. I really wanted to find someone to work on this with me. And so far, I don't know if I just don't work well with others or haven't found someone that can help. I don't know. It's also really scary working with people. Like, letting other people in and working with people. when it seems like, I guess I have trust issues. And like getting close to people and working with people and letting them get involved is scary. No, I don't have a roommate. I only have a 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, I don't have to keep this apartment. I could go, I don't really want to do that. I could go not live in the city. I could go live with my parents. Don't want to do that. I'd really just like to get, again, see if I can find investment. I don't know. It's basically like getting married. Working with someone. Well, that's the thing is like working with someone and giving them ownership. And it's not just ownership on things, but it's also control. And then, because obviously, like, other people have opinions and want to do things. And I feel really strongly about what I want this thing to do. Like, it's not just like something to like make money. It's important. What's important, one, because I use it, but also I want it to be good for other people. And I don't know. And I have trust issues. I've just had bad experiences, and there's this like little voice in my brain that just tells me all kinds of things. But one of them, thank you. One of them though is just there's this thing that ticks off. It's like everybody leaves. And it's not a very useful voice to have running. And also there's this thing where I'm like, I don't know if I've manifested it? How'd to say that? I don't know if I've manifested it, but so far it seems like it's been true. And so it makes it hard to ever, like maybe I've already missed out on the people I could have worked with and I'm just not sure. Because the way I treat people, I don't know. That's not really that fun of a topic, I guess. All right, so Christine, what do you like about that Damon character? If you like Damon better than Steven or Stefan. Yeah, maybe. And this thing is so far, I've been just trying to work on this alone. The thing that's hard is, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Like, I guess I know more than what I did a year ago. But like the fact that this even like works and I was able to get this to work is kind of like, I'm just guessing all the time. Which I guess is fine. It's also, you can't say that to to investors. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just guessing on everything. Might need to get a haircut if I'm... Yeah, I know. I know. I'm learning to work with people, I think. I hope. Because I don't want to have that forever. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. I do try to do that. I also am trying to get this thing to like grow, and I can only do it so much, especially if I'm like taking care of a puppy. Just grab, like that's the thing too, is it's like, what are we doing? We can't like, I guess it was a nice distraction, kind of. But also, it's like, yeah, you can't take care of a puppy, and if you're already overwhelmed and can't get enough stuff done, maybe don't also grab a puppy. Is this off? I can't remember if this is off or not. No, it's off. I like LA a lot. Ideally, what I always wanted, sorry, that's not on my face. What I always wanted was to have a place in the city, a small place in the city, kind of like what I have. Well, actually, this is relatively big, but a place in the city and then also a place out in the country where at some point I can like have horses and shoot guns. I just want enough space where I can shoot guns and have a horse or horses. But I don't know. We'll see about that. 12:30. All right, I need to go to the gym if I'm gonna get it in. So, I guess I just need to go do that. Thanks for barely. I'm terrified doing it. I did it a little bit as kids. But I love horses. So like about Damon, hang on, this is what we're gonna end on. About Damon. We can talk more about horses later. Yeah, I just love horses. There's something about handling a horse and you can just feel, there's just something about a bigger being. I don't know, there's just a thing about connecting in with him. All right, about Damon, I don't know. I like that even though he tries to act tough, he's really not. He genuinely cares. And I honestly believe no one is born a bad person. You know what I'm hearing? I can fix him. That's the sentiment. You're like, oh, Damon's not really bad. Even though everything he does is bad. I'm just playing. I agree with you. I don't even think there's bad people to begin with. I think they just do bad things. And I think we all have the ability. It's the duality. It's like myself, my shadow self, and I can do really good things, and also Justin can do really shitty things. I can do both. Yeah, horses are wonderful. I don't ever spend, have almost no time spent around them in the past few years, but I really do. Well, the other thing that's cool about horses, at least for me, I don't know if this is like, but my anxiety goes to like it goes away entirely. It's almost like motorcycles, but it's very different. If you fix Damon, he's all right. Well, enjoy. I mean, you're gonna have to fix them. That's the way it goes. But also, just so you know, from what I can tell, you can't fix anybody. Everybody is the way they is. The only person you can fix is. And also, maybe you don't need fixing. Maybe you're good just as you are. And maybe it's just about acceptance, you know? If we can just accept this moment and everything in ourselves exactly as we are, then maybe things are okay. All right, thanks for hanging with me today. I gotta go get this gym time in before the puppy comes back. I'm so stressed. Yeah. Horse people, apparently. In the US, there's a term, it's called horse girls. Y'all would both be horse... Yeah, we're not going to get into that. But horse girls is definitely a term for sure. All right. Have a good day. Sending love. Have a good evening. I'll have a good day too. See y'all.